two previous meetings between this pair. Both came in Players Tour Championship events in 2011 and 12. Robertson winning both by the odd frame. So on the two occasions they have met before, they've been very tight encounters. Could we be in for another one this evening?
Well, he caught the wrong red there. Kurt Mafflin raises his hand to apologise for getting a good cue ball. And that could have been very costly. Well, he's left a red to the right corner, but it's fraught with danger. The safety's not easy. He just may decide to take this one on to the right corner. It's the one just below the pink. Sorry, just to the right of the pink. Very dangerous though. Maybe as well just to drop this cue ball onto the black cushion. Well, it wasn't far away, but there was no guarantee of position taking that red on. But he hasn't left anything easy as we look at this attempt at the long red again. And once again, Kurt Mafflin just a little fortunate there. Didn't intend to cannon that red. And could have left it a lot easier than that. It was a good pot.
One.
But didn't quite manage position. And these are also difficult pots. Shots just to land up behind the green. Isn't playing it.
Neil Robertson, 1.
He'd have been very nearly behind the green had he potted it. I fully expected him to roll up behind the green there. Oh, that was close, but dangerous. Full marks for going for this the way he did. I've expected him to pull that cue ball back towards baulk.
One.
First really good chance then falls to the 2010 world champion.
Six. Seven.
Ideally, he would like to get rid of the reds just behind the black spot, but hasn't quite come hard enough onto the pink to be able to play for those.
13. 14.
I think Neil Robertson has made his mind up
21.
to really attack this game.
22.
A brave shot he took on. Maybe too brave.
29.
Oh, when he gets a
30.
chance, Robertson, undoubtedly one of the best in the business in and amongst the Reds. He's had a relatively modest season by his standards so far. The highlight
37.
was his appearance in the final of the International Championship in China, where he led Judd Trump 8-6 before the ace in the pack reeled off 4 straight frames to win the title. Robertson has won a PTC event during the current campaign. That aside,
45.
nothing to write home about. But of course, the really big tournaments, or many of the big tournaments,
46.
are still to come.
Yes, he's almost playing this a little too casually for me, Neil Robertson.
51.
He doesn't want to become too complacent. This is a tough pot. Nicely played.
Not hanging around, is he? It's an extremely swift average shot time, under 15 seconds.
And the only reason is 15 seconds is the referee's a little slow getting them out.
51.
Come on, ref. Frame ball.
He looks in the mood, doesn't he?
68.
Yes, he gave Mafflin a chance early on in this frame when he missed that pot with the rest. And he's got to take them.
Where's the black? Where's the black?
Neil Robertson, 69. Frame, Neil Robertson.
Well, that break of 69 in whirlwind style from the left-hander from Melbourne, more than enough to take the opening frame after Mafflin missed his opportunity. So first blood to Neil Robertson. He leads 1-0. We'll have the second frame in a couple of minutes.
Eurosport Player is the multi-screen service of the Eurosport channels. With Eurosport Player, watch Eurosport and Eurosport 2 live on computer, smartphone and tablet through a single subscription. Watch your favourite events through the catch-up service. Also enjoy exclusive content through the bonus channels. Watch up to 7 tennis courts simultaneously and follow your favourite players. Eurosport Player. All sports, all emotions.
Welcome back to Munich then. We're reaching the closing stages of the first day of this 3-day event. And Neil Robertson has made an excellent start in his pursuit of a place in the last 16. Quick fire break of 69, taking the first frame against his opponent from Norway, Kurt Mafflin, ranked 68 in the world. The 29-year-old has been a pro since 2001, but did drop off the circuit for a few seasons.
Second
Qualified
frame,
again
Mafflin to
through Q School, so he's still battling away. And he's done well to reach the round of 32, but he's got his work cut out this evening against one of the best players in the world. the reigning Masters champion Neil Robertson.
One.
Well, didn't hold back there, did he? And look at that for a bust.
8.
I think he might have a dinner appointment, Joe.
Well, as you said earlier, it looks like he's in the mood. He's going to force this into an attacking match. Not interested in the safety. And to be fair, with all these matches that you have to play in such a short space of time, you don't really want to be expending too much energy in safety battles and 4-3s. You're going to try and win these matches as quick as possible and keep all your energy for the final.
$19.
Nearly pinched too much on the pocket there, didn't he?
Yes, nearly missed it. But he's nicely on the black. Wants to remove this red just behind the black.
27.
Well, I've rarely seen Neil Robertson cue as swiftly as this. He's certainly not a negative player by any stretch of the imagination, but he really is on a flyer tonight. Touch of the whirlwinds and the hurricanes about the young Melbourne star.
36.
Well, I like to see him playing like this, no matter who he's playing, because it certainly puts the fear of God into you, I can tell you. So difficult to keep your concentration when you see somebody like Neil Robertson storming round the table, potting balls. Okay, it's not going to work all the time and he's going to miss the odd couple.
4.
But you don't always get punished for missing balls. And sometimes you can give your opponent too much respect.
51.
Mifflin, meanwhile, warming his chair there, helpless to do anything about this.
Well, that was a delicate positional shot he played there. He's perfectly on this red though.
60.
And again, only just crept in, but as long as it's gone down that hole, he won't be bothered. Oh, he's completely overhit that one. Played for the two reds into the left corner.
7.
That's got to have been a big bounce. On top of him misjudging the speed.
68.
And he's getting quicker by the minute. Average shot time down to 13 seconds.
Frame ball.
Well, the crowd being royally entertained here in this, the last match
74.
of the first day of action in Munich. Excellent crowd all day.
75.
Packed to the rafters out there for this final PTC qualifying event before the grand finals, and Robertson has just confessed a foul on himself there, I believe. He's touched the red with his waistcoat, but it doesn't matter.
It's 7 points away, and it might matter. He's coming back to the table. I think he still needs 2 snookers, but What a gentleman. He hasn't put the 7 points on yet. Well, he's put 4 points on, but he was playing the black. Now we're all okay. So 64 points. The difference, 2 snookers required. Two 4-point snookers, that is. And I thought he had an easy snooker there behind the brown. Still needs 2 snookers with the blue.
Green Mufflin, 1.
Well, hasn't given yet, but I think he will do the next time he comes to the table.
Frame, Neil Robertson.
Kurt Mafflin remains seated then. Break of 69 in the first frame from Robertson. Another contribution there of 70 in the blink of an eye. And the Aussie is firmly in command here. Already halfway to a place in the last 16. He leads Kurt Mafflin by 2 frames to 0. 4 is the target to go through. And we'll have frame number 3 for you in a couple of moments' time.
Follow the score of your favorite team live and find the latest results and features with Eurosport's Live Score.
Get Eurosport.com for your iPhone free. Every day sees full and expert coverage of sports news with dozens of articles and an easy one-stop video section that lets you live and relive the very best moments of sport. Follow all the scores, fixtures and tables live. Eurosport.com, the reference and sport apps available on the App Store.
Neil Robertson is a man in the hurry. He's breezed through the opening 2 frames with breaks of 60 and 70 plus, and already leads Kurt Mafflin 2-0. He needs 2 more to confirm his spot in the last 16 tomorrow.
Well, that's a better safety shot from Kurt there.
Mafflin hasn't done a great deal wrong. Yes, he had an opportunity in the early stages of the first frame. But by and large, it's just been the excellent potting and break building of his opponent.
Well, I've got a feeling he's going to be taking this one on down the cushion. And unless he screws that cue ball back towards Bork, he's going to be leaving reds on if he misses. He isn't frightened of having a go, is he? 2-0 down. He's still having a go.
Very capable player, Mafflin. His ranking may be modest, but he's made 2 professional maximum breaks. There are a lot of great players who failed to do that in their careers.
Well, just slotted it in ever so nicely, and a thicker kiss on the black would have left him with an easy black. It's the only ball he can see. Doesn't want to miss it and leave it right over the pocket. We could be in for a long frame if he plays that.
Neil Robertson, 1.
Oh, he's left him another long red. If you can see enough of it. Apparently not. Attempting to move this red closest to the right corner. It just needs an easy chance, doesn't it? Again, it was so close. But he played to go into that pack of reds and missed them.
One.
We're into a final frame decided, by the way, on table 2, where Rob Milkins is playing Martin Gould. 3 apiece in that one.
Well, they're good shots. Digging down into the cue ball.
8.
Trying to hold it for this red. But it needs another good shot here.
Neil Robertson,
Now,
8.
has he got away with it?
The first straightforward ball, and it wasn't that easy. But Robertson's missed.
But he has got away with it. Kurt Mafflin was looking at the safety there. Slight swerve, I don't think so. It's not on to play the swerve shot here. Well, for a moment there, I thought it was going to drop. But look at that little kiss on the green. He's covered the red over the corner, and that was so fortunate. Have a look at this again. The red hits the other red and nearly goes in the pocket. Cue ball comes down the table, hits the green, finishes up behind the yellow.
I'm not sure Mafflin can get through to the red on the left side cushion to make the plant either. Certainly not without imparting swerve on the ball. There you see. And how often do you see the player in the ascendancy get the rub of the green? Robertson's had 2 big slices of luck there, missing the red and snookering Mafflin on the potting angle, and then an action replay. Mafflin again unable to get to the straightforward red.
Well, this is a big swerve. He's attempting. That side's going to take it away from the red. He was hitting it at one stage.
Neil Robertson, 4.
But on that left-hand side on the cue ball, just took it away from the red.
One.
Well, you've got to feel a little for Kurt Mafflin. He hasn't really done anything wrong in this frame. He's been the victim of a couple of raw bits of misfortune. And we all know how well Robertson's playing when he gets in amongst them. First two frames went by in a blur.
9.
Yes, and he's left himself a nice angle to go into the reds here. Try and hold for the reds into the left corner. Just played it
16.
a little hard for me, that. Here's the swerve shot again. He was on it. But all that left-hand side on the cue ball just took it away. Again, he's been on the verge of missing those, hasn't he? But they've just snuck in.
17.
He's using every last millimetre of those pockets.
And the way he's playing with these reds
24.
nicely around the black, you'd expect him to score heavy here.
25.
Overhit that one slightly.
$32. 33.
'Well, I can't believe he played for this red behind the green.
35.
Yes, it was a little straight on the yellow, but still reds he could have played for. It just shows you how confident he is at the moment. And nicely on the blue. Get the blue back on its spot.
Yes, it was almost as though he was challenging himself to make the break harder there.
41.
See if he could rise to the occasion, and he did.
42.
Yeah, he's so good to watch, this young man, when he's in full flow. And he's in full flow, make no mistake. Little cannon to the cluster there. Knew he was going to be on the red to the middle.
48.
Colour in a red will suffice then for Robertson for a 3-0 lead.
He was a little fortunate in this frame, covering that red over the pocket. Kurt Mafflin
54.
played a terrific swerve shot, but the cue ball just drifted away from the red.
55.
The knowledgeable crowd know that that was game ball. Break of 69 in the first frame, 71 in the second.
63.
Another sizable contribution here. And he's sending out a message with this form that he won't be giving up his Masters title lightly.
Quickly, ref.
77. 78.
Exhibition stuff, this from Robertson. He might as well be on the practice table.
84. 85.
Making it look ridiculously easy. So are we about to see century number 240 of the young Australian's career?
94.
54 centuries last season alone. And he's already played 26 during this campaign. Just the brown. Oh, well, what a shame. The crowd would love to have seen the century break, but it doesn't matter from Neil Robertson's point of view. He leads 3-0.
Eurosport Player is the multi-screen service of the Eurosport channels. With Eurosport Player, watch Eurosport and Eurosport 2 live on computer, smartphone and tablet through a single subscription. Watch your favourite events through the catch-up service. Also enjoy exclusive content through the bonus channels. Watch up to 7 tennis courts simultaneously and follow your favourite players. Eurosport Player. All sports, all emotions.
Oberstdorf, Garmisch, Innsbruck, Bischofshofen. The Four Hills, terrifying to ordinary mortals, the pathway to glory for the high flyers. Last year belonged to the Austrian Eagles. Who's gonna clip their wings? See all the drama plus exclusive reaction with our on-site reporter. The Four Hills Tournament, live from Bischofshofen, tomorrow at 1600 on Eurosport.
Visit your next Intersport store. Intersport. Sport to the people.
The Four Hills Tournament on Eurosport is presented to you by BetAtHome.com. Life is a game.
Well, what an exhibition of break building we've seen from Australia's Neil Robertson this evening in this round of 32 match at the Munich Open snooker. 69 in the first frame, 70 plus in the second, so nearly a century in the third. And all of those breaks compiled at breathtaking speed. Robertson really has been turning on the style this evening. And Kurt Mafflin has been reduced to virtual spectator. He hasn't had much luck either. Robertson certainly benefiting from a couple of slices of good fortune in that third frame, but how he's capitalised on it.
Yes, and there's another example. Opening the reds, playing off them thick rather than thin. And got to be careful. There's a red over that left corner, and he's left it on. Why he would want to take the cue ball over that side of the table, no idea. Needs an angle. He got it. That puts him on the yellow or the green. The black, pink and blue are free.
Yes, the bad news for Mafflin is that alongside his superb break building skills, Robertson is of course one of the best single ball potters in the game.
Needs to improve his positional play though. How did he finish there? Only joking, folks.
I'm sure Kurt Mafflin doesn't think he needs to improve. Look at that, 255 points, place 17. It's a landslide at the moment.
Terrific recovery shot from Neil Robertson.
5.
Awkward cueing with the rest. Had to play it with left hand side to avoid the black.
Maybe you should leave those hair straighteners at home every tournament, Joe.
Yeah.
11.
Doesn't want to get too complacent though.
18.
Needs to finish the job now.
19.
Sometimes can just be a little careless. Because you know you're playing so well.
26. 27.
2 reds behind the black spot, just making things a little awkward.
34.
Couldn't go into the pack of reds there because of it.
35. $40.
Well, he misses one.
Neil Robertson, 40.
And he's half got away with it as well.
Human after all. Surprising error that one from Robertson, given how brilliantly he's been cueing.
Well, he's not dodging the shot again here, Kurt Mafflin. That's another very good shot. This time from Kurt Mafflin.
1.
Didn't expect him to pot that, I must say. Excellent pot.
It's not the sort of red you want, is it, when you've been largely frozen out for 3 frames?
And that's a good positional shot. Would be nice to see him win a frame.
4.
From his point of view, it'd be nice to see him win 4 frames.
5.
Left himself a nice angle to go into them. And if he can miss the red above the black, try and catch the one to the right. Played it well.
12. 13.
I've got to say, I do like this guy's attitude towards the game. He's attacked all evening. Okay, it hasn't happened for him, but he stayed attacking. Look at the red he got in with.
20. 21.
'I didn't play that one as well as he would have liked. Wanted to be straighter on these 2 reds. I have to go for the blue or the pink now.
29. 34. 35.
'Well, he chose to play the cannon to the red.
42.
There was the red up in the baulk area and the red to the middle, but if he plays the one to the middle, he leaves the one in the black baulk area if he misses it. So for me, this is the one to play. Great pot. Terrific pot.
43.
Deserved better position from that great red. Sweet as a nut.
Had potted just 4 balls in the match prior to this break. What a response this has been.
Well, this is another tough one. If he plays it plain ball, looks like the cue ball's cannoning into the green. If he raises his cue to avoid the green, the blue becomes really missable. Oh, that's a very good pot. Under intense pressure, Needs another one now. And that's another one. Just a little far for comfort on the black. And doesn't have to play a pot. The brown puts his opponent in deep trouble. If he can hold for the red from the black, no problem. He couldn't hold. Now, can he see enough of the red to play the snooker?
57.
It's got to miss the green. Landing somewhere behind the brown spot.
Kurt Mufflin, 57.
That'll do nicely.
Well, that's one of the better 57 breaks you'll ever see, particularly given what had gone before. Mufflin largely frozen out. Conjured a really excellent break there and has given himself every chance.
Is it a free ball?
Free ball.
Free ball called. Didn't look like one from here, but it is.
Ping ball.
Nice angle on the black to stun up for the red by the brown.
1.
He would only need the red to get his first frame on the board.
Preferred to play it with screw, and all that right hand side on the cue ball has left him perfect on this red. Excellent shot, excellent frame. From Kurt Mufflin's point of view, that is.
Terrific character shown here by the world number 68. Battered and bruised in the first 3 frames, which rushed by
13.
in the blink of an eye. Robertson missed a relatively straightforward ball when he looked poised to wrap up a 4-0 victory. Mufflin with a very tricky opening red to negotiate. Made an excellent half century, and he's finished the job here after laying the snooker.
And cued that very well.
18.
And the yellow previous. I think all this guy has to do to keep improving
22.
is just keep believing in himself. He's going to take some stopping playing like this.
27.
Every shot in the book he's got. Look at that for a shot.
Great stuff then from Kurt Mufflin. Great response after the blistering start by Neil Robertson. That might have given the Aussie left-hander something to think about, because he still has 1 frame to win. Robertson leading Mufflin 3-1.
Follow the score of your favorite team live and find the latest results and features with Eurosport's Live Score.
Get Eurosport.com for your iPhone free. Every day sees full and expert coverage of sports news with dozens of articles and an easy one-stop video section that lets you live and relive the very best moments of sport. Follow all the scores, fixtures and tables live. Eurosport.com, the reference and sport apps available on the App Store.
Welcome back to Munich, where I would venture to suggest we are witnessing the best match of this Arcadum Munich Open snooker to date. We've seen some fantastic play from both players here. Neil Robertson racing into a 3-0 lead in barely half an hour with some sizable frame-winning contributions. Kurt Mafflin didn't do a great deal wrong in those first 3 frames, simply outplayed. But how he responded in the fourth. Superb half-century break before he polished off the frame on the colours, and so the match is still alive. Robertson needs one more to progress to the last 16, but Mafflin has a foothold.
Good safety, good pace on the cue ball. This is close. It's close. Not quite a snooker.
You saw Mafflin's average shot time of 21 there, which I promise you is more than swift. Totally eclipsed by Neil Robertson's hurricane-esque 13 seconds a shot. It's been that kind of match. High-octane snooker here. Both men going for the jugular.
Well, caught it too thick. And that little kiss just saved him there. Had that cue ball come past the red, he would have left an easy red on for Neil Robertson. Neil Robertson's turn to catch them a little thick. Oh, but he's had the rub of the green again. Or the rub of the brown. In this case, the red was on over that left corner pocket. Had it missed the brown or caught it fuller, got to be careful here because it could be his last shot with that red over the left corner pocket. So he's got to give this lots of thought. Attempting to land up to this red. He's got to get the pace right, otherwise he leaves the other red on by the black. Looks like he's left it on. And he's done that a couple of times this evening. Well, more than a couple. Could this be the chance he's been waiting for?
7.
Made 40 in the last frame before breaking down on what Phil and I thought was an easy enough red. Nothing's easy out there.
He'd been making them look so easy, hadn't he? That's why it was such a surprise. But I'm sure when Robertson missed that red, he didn't expect it to be a frame-losing shot. It was thanks to Maflin's excellent break.
8.
But this is looking like another very good chance for the Australian to apply the killer thrust.
Well, that red just to the left of the black spot, causing problems. He's moved the red away, but he's left himself a little close to this red.
15.
Well, this is ultra thin, this black. But he might be able to play the cannon to that red. Now it just drifted to the left as we were looking at it there.
16.
So another chance for Keith Maflin here. Sorry, Kurt Maflin. Can he do what he did in the last frame? Stay positive. Make a big break. They're there.
One.
Again, very positive shot that from Kurt. As reds to both middles. Can only sit and watch and hope. Well, back in perfect position now.
Robertson 3-0 ahead. Barely 30 minutes of play. 40-0 to the good in the fourth. And looking good for a resounding victory.
15.
Suddenly, 3-1, and Maflin in amongst them. Is the tide turning here?
Yes, it was a slight kick, and it's left him slightly hampered. And that cue ball just run through a couple of inches. Would have been a simple shot just to play the positional shot next time round. Just a little bit more difficult now.
Must have thought he was into the last 16 just a few minutes ago. And what's very evident from this performance from Kurt Maflin is just how much natural ability he has. We mentioned the two 147 breaks he's made in professional competition.
37.
Yes, I believe you were saying that he had an accident.
Yes, he was involved in quite a nasty car crash back in March of 2010 and needed a metal plate to be inserted in his shoulder. You can imagine what a hindrance that would be for a snooker player. Fell off the tour the following year, no great surprise. But back again, courtesy of qualification through the Q School. And on this evidence, he's still got plenty to offer the game.
Totally agree. And at 29, he's still got time. There's lots of tournaments to play nowadays.
$52. $58.
Neil Robertson made one mistake in the fourth frame and was punished ruthlessly. He made a mistake in this one.
Yes, and if he gets this red, he's going to have pulled another one back in style.
It'll be interesting to see if Robertson persists with his ultra-attacking approach that won in the first three frames. If he didn't know before, he now knows he's facing a very capable opponent.
73.
I mentioned in their previous two meetings, both in PTC events, the matches went the distance. That looked highly unlikely after the first three frames, but now, well, you wouldn't bet against it. Tremendous spectacle, though. Great snooker from both men.
$79. Kurt Maughlin, 79. Frame, Kurt
Well, no century break for Kurt Maughlin, but that excellent run of 79, more than enough to win him his second straight frame. He looked down and out at 3-0 down, but how he's battling back. Robertson's lead reduced to just one frame.
You'd better take your kids to World Snow Day, 20th of January. For further details, visit world-snow-day.com.
Visit Budapest, the spa capital of Europe. For more information, please look up visithungary.com.
Well, this capacity crowd in Munich being royally entertained in this, the last match of the first day of the Munich Open Snooker, the final Betfair European Tour event. Neil Robertson 3-0 up in half an hour. Kurt Maughlin has hit back in style with two straight frames of his own. We've been playing barely an hour for 5 completed frames. We've seen a sizable break in all 5. Terrific entertainment. And we still aren't sure of who will win.
Yes, obviously, Neil Robertson, his favourite. 3-2 ahead. But we're not sure who's going to win, especially with shots like that. Well, Kurt Mafflin in with a chance. Missed the pocket by so much. The red came back and opened that pack of reds. The black will go to the left corner.
One.
It's Mafflin with the momentum now. Potted just 4 balls in the first 3 frames.
Well, he tried to disturb something there. But he's out of position. May have a red to the baulk corner. Not sure if he can get through the gap. But it's not an easy one. How about that? Nicely played.
9.
Well, that was quite brilliant from Mafflin, wasn't it? So sweetly struck. Perfect position on the blue. And at no stage has he looked negative this evening. Even when he was 3-0 down and he wasn't enjoying the rub of the green, he never stopped being positive. And he's being rewarded.
Yes, he doesn't really want to take the pink here. That would really mess things up. The pink would go behind the black. So he may have to play for the more difficult blue.
15.
Hasn't quite come far enough for the black. Or has he? He has.
Two. 23.
Oh, that was a big kick. Fortunately, the black went in.
Cue ball almost stopped dead in its tracks there.
13.
So heavy was that contact. We've seen a few today, Joe.
Yeah, more than normal, really.
Watch the white there. Seize up.
Yes, he just wanted that cue ball to go through another 2 or 3 inches to be straight on the red below the black. Doesn't really want to play for the pink. Had the angle to play the cannon. I suppose he deserved that little bit of luck.
Mafflin looking pretty good here to force a decider.
38. 39.
And what a response this has been to Robertson's early blitz. I'm sure Neil Robertson didn't see it coming.
46.
Quite a turnaround.
Yes, but he hasn't won this frame yet. And don't forget, he can't afford any mistakes. Kurt Mafflin could be his last one. Another good recovery shot. And not a bad kiss. The red behind the black is available. Blue looks to be the easier ball to play for that red. Well, it was a good pot and position, but could have done with this cue ball just being 6 inches closer to the red. Oh, that just about dropped. No emotion from Neil Robertson. I've seen those stay out.
When it left its cue, it didn't look as though it was going to drop in, did it? Particularly at that pace, but in it went. And now Mafflin very close
60.
to making it 3 frames apiece and forcing a deciding frame.
Red, black, red.
61.
And hasn't he played well? And positive, like Phil said. Even when it was 3-0 down, he still played so positive, going for his shots. Well started with that red along the cushion. There's frame ball.
Just about the only thing we haven't had in this match so far is a century. That could be about to change.
Well, it's a real shame that there's got to be a loser in this match. They've both played that well.
76.
A pleasure to watch. The crowd thoroughly enjoyed it.
77.
Remember, 63 places below his opponent in the ranking list. He's certainly not playing like a world number 68 this evening. Well, that's a bit unfortunate to
84.
lose position on the easy red with a century in view.
Maybe a double on here. Couldn't put it past him.
He just can't miss at the moment.
85.
Well, this has been a real treat for the crowd. They could not have wished to see a better match. Great break building, great potting, and a real shift in momentum. Robertson 3-0 up, 40 points to the good, looking in to win.
85 frame for Mafflin.
Looking good for a whitewash, but how Kurt Mafflin has responded. 3 straight frames from the underdog, and we're into a decider.
All about now.
Another fantastic swim.
He's the leader of the new generation of swimmers.
It's in, and Zambia are champions of Africa. And what about that for a finish? Oh, what a goal! a point.
God, the wheels come over the wall.
This is competition at its best.
It could have only finished with a winner.
Welcome to match point. Check this out. 15-time Grand Slam champion.
Unbelievable performance.
Absolutely sensational.
All sports, all emotions. 2013 on Eurosport.
Well, when Neil Robertson led this round of 32 match at the Munich Open by 3 frames to nil and led 40-0 and was in amongst the Reds, what odds would you have got on a deciding frame? That's what we're faced with here, courtesy of a magnificent fight back from the world number 68, 29-year-old Kurt Maflin of Norway. Toss of a coin stuff now.
Well, you probably go even as far to say Kurt Maflin's favourite. The way he's come back with those last 3 frames. Be difficult to pot anything from there, isn't it? And that's where the cue ball's got to be.
A rare safety shot.
Yeah, what's the wheel coming to? Well, is it safe? There's one to the left middle, is there? Worth taking on. But not this time. Looking at coming in behind the red, but is there enough room? There was. And he'll be delighted with that. Well, he's looking at the long red, but too dangerous to take that on. The red, that's above the black and to the left. He'd like to play safe off of that one, but he's afraid of pushing it towards that right corner. But that's the red he's playing. Played it thicker. And he'll settle for that. Well, he's looking at taking this long red on to the left corner. Just looking to see what he'd leave if he did take it on. But it's full of danger. Here we go then. Wasn't far away. He was on the black, but he's left a red to the left centre. So Kurt Mafflin with a chance to the left centre. Has to get it, otherwise he'll be leaving reds on, and it's not a gimme.
Neil Robertson went full-blooded for that long red, knowing he could well be leaving a chance for his opponent. But the pressure's that little bit more intense now.
Well, so much so that he's not going to take the red on. Is he playing the cut? No, just a safety. So Neil Robertson got away with taking that long red on, although he did have a look at everything before he played the shot. Excellent safety from Kurt Mafflin.
Test of character this for the former world champion. Totally dominated the early stages. He's been pegged back.
Nothing in the safety success, both at 80%. Caught the red too thick. How's your luck? This red is on to the baulk corner, but it's a tough one. Oh, again, I thought he just caught that a little thick.
Seven.
Very noticeable that both players are now taking much more time over their shots. This, of course, the final frame.
Eight.
Has he got the right side? You can't pinch much on these middle pockets.
$13. $14.
This time, if you can play down for the red by the black spot, then play onto the black. Oh, he's played it too hard, or not hard enough.
19.
Although he's got a good bounce there. Well, that's a very attacking shot he's played there, giving himself a chance to win frame and match with that shot. And he knows it. It's all down to Kurt Mafflin now.
And all the more remarkable when you consider that in the first three frames, the man in your picture at the table potted just 4 balls.
Well, he's very fortunate there. He's held the spot. And the black's going to go down onto the brown spot.
27.
Very fortunate. Touch slower. He was on nothing.
Well,
didn't need to play down for the black. And now he's in a bit of trouble. He could play the snooker. Just touch the brown. Make that cue ball in behind the black. Keep the pressure on his opponent. Or he could take on a very risky black. Don't think he can get anywhere by playing the brown.
And you can tell that he's itching to continue the break here. Maflin is by default an attacking player. He doesn't want to play the snooker. Will he be tempted into taking a risk?
Brown ball.
Didn't think he had much option there but to play the snooker, and he hasn't got it, you know. That's careless. In fact, he's left this red on.
Well, I bet Maflin wishes he had taken the attacking option now. The first really poor shot he's played in 4 frames.
And that could have been very costly.
Well, it's Robertson who's been largely frozen out, isn't it, in the last 3 frames. And his long potting not as reliable as it normally is. Hit with tremendous power, but didn't get it anywhere near the jaws of the pocket. You can almost touch the tension out there now.
Looking for a pot. Well, he's got 2 pots to the left corner, but there's doesn't look to be any way to get that cue ball back down towards the baulk area. Cue ball appears to be going into reds if he takes this on. He could drop the white onto the black cushion. Okay, there's a red there, but there's no colour for it. He's going for it. Oh, what about that? What a pot.
Well, I said his long potting hadn't been as reliable of late. That one was an absolute humdinger. Worth a replay all day long. What a pot.
How has he found the gap between those reds, though?
Well, that's the kind of pot that's worthy of a victory.
Well, Kurt Maflin would be delighted for him to take that shot on all day long. And now the blue spot's held, so it's down to the black spot for the blue, which really helps Neil Robertson. Pushed a red towards the cushion. A little bit of hope, maybe, for Maflin.
Maflin sitting and hoping
13.
that all his hard work has enabled him to produce this tremendous fight back. And oh my goodness, so he's overcut that by a mile.
Well, the pressure gets to everybody, doesn't it? And it certainly got to Neil Robertson there.
I was just going to say, Mafflin wondering if all that hard work in getting back into the match so brilliantly was going to be in vain, but there you go, even the best feel the tension.
1.
And Kurt's not going to need that safe red on the left side cushion.
Well, what a match this has been. You can't take your eyes off it. We've had a bit of everything.
7.
Robertson will go to bed this evening, should he lose this frame, wondering how on earth he hasn't won this match.
Well, it was that relatively easy red in the 4th frame, wasn't it? When he was on 40.
13.
But like you said, Phil, he couldn't have envisioned losing that frame. He thought he'd left it safe.
Never mind the 3 that followed.
14.
Well, this one's not over yet, but Mafflin is certainly very much in the driving seat here. Already 29 points to the good. Red's open.
And if he keeps playing like this, Phil, every chance of winning the tournament. He's got to stay positive like this, though. Go for his shots. Get into that pack of reds as quickly as possible. So this blue, red in the colour, should be enough. He knows he's a couple of balls away from going out. And after the way he played,
27.
you wonder how. This blue, to leave Robertson needing snookers. And this red, to more or less guarantee him
32.
into the last 16.
Foul.
And a meeting.
I can't believe that. He's called a foul on himself. Touched the white ball. The referee didn't see it. My word. And neither did I. Still didn't see it on the replay.
What a bit of sportsmanship that is from Mafflin.
It now means, though, that Neil Robertson can win this match.
So we'd had a bit of everything in this fabulous battle. There's another unexpected twist. There you see, enough points for Robertson to force a respotted black. What a finale that would be to this match. A fitting one as well, but he's got much to do. I was about to say before Mafflin confessed that foul on himself that the winner will play Liam Highfield, who earlier ousted Dominic Dale of Wales. Well, that was a feather, wasn't it? Barely discernible.
Full marks, though. Well, what's going on here? Doesn't want to pot this red. Didn't quite get that cue ball close enough to the blue. Well, that's surely it.
What a remarkable match this has been. Neil Robertson started like a train, averaging 13 seconds a shot. He raced into a 3-0 lead. He was back in again in the fourth. 40 points to the good. Straightforward red beckoning. Frame and match beckoning. Kurt Mafflin potted just 4 balls in those first 3 frames. But what a response from the world number 68. Anything you can do, he said to Neil Robertson, I can match.
And he certainly did.
Look at that. He's now potted a ball more than Robertson, having potted just 4 in the first 3 frames. Remarkable stuff. .44 the difference, just 35 left. So 3-4 point snookers required for Neil Robertson to pull a victory out of the fire here. Lost in the UK Championship to Mark Selby from 4-0 in front. That would have been a perplexing loss. This one, arguably even more so, given how he played in the first half of the match. Well, that surely is it now. Robertson missing with the red.
He did hit the red, but did he hit it second? Kurt Mafflin saying he did hit the red. And I thought he did as well.
Well, the referee called a foul. Certainly my initial impression was that Robertson had missed the red.
I'd like to see it again because I thought he moved it. It's not going to count now. It's all over. And what a great win this is for Kurt Mafflin. And what a great sport he's shown himself to be.
Yes, confessing a foul earlier in the frame which could have cost him the match in the most painful of circumstances. Querying the referee's call just now when Robertson appeared to miss the snooker. What a match that was. The crowd won't forget that one in a hurry. Neither will the 2 players. Neil Robertson will be left scratching his head, having played so brilliantly in the first half of the match, as to how he has ended up on the losing side. But it's Kurt Mafflin with a quite superb display who will move into the last 16. He has battled back from 3-0 down to the former world champion Neil Robertson to win by 4 frames to 3. Well, a fitting finale to our first day of this Arcaden Munich Open snooker. What terrific entertainment for a packed crowd. Neil Robertson bang in form. Kurt Mafflin saying anything you can do, I can do better. And we'll be back for more tomorrow from 10 o'clock in the morning. If you're watching in Europe, 9 o'clock UK time. We'll have the last 32 for you on the second day of 3 here in Munich. And then later on, the last 16 from 7 o'clock European time, 6 o'clock in the UK. And if we have more snooker like we had this evening, we will be in for a treat, I can tell you. There was the handshake between this pair. Neil Robertson is out. Kurt Mafflin is through. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Until then, we wish you a very good night. See you tomorrow.
A monumental adventure. A journey of 8,000 kilometers through Peru, Argentina, and Chile. A race over wild, rugged country, including the awesome Atacama Desert. It's the world's greatest rally. And Eurosport has nightly highlights with live reports from our team on the ground. The Dakar, from January the 5th to the 20th.